Ooh, half of my head is cut off. I must be taller than I thought. Hello, everybody. Happy April 10th. Happy Saturday. Oh boy, the big announcement. It's time. Well, this may be the shortest Facebook Live I've ever done. So before you ever have an itch in your ear and you're like, oh, goodness, that's a good one. And you kind of don't want to take your finger out, but you realize you look kind of weird when you do it. Anyway, that was what was going on. Hello, Karen and Sherry and Maria and Anwar and all of you beautiful people. Nice to see you all. Thank you very much for joining me today for the big announcement. Yay! Okay. Possibilities. I bought a zoo. No, didn't buy a zoo. I'm moving to the moon. No, I already live in the whole universe, so the moon is encompassed in my terroir. This is the reason I'm not French. No, that's not it. So let me tell you a little story. Growing up, I was a kid, like most people growing up are kids. Yeah, and had some very interesting experiences growing up, and I always wondered why. I experienced a lot of abuse. I experienced a lot of meanness. I also experienced a lot of joy and a lot of wonderful people in my life, and I just looked at people always, and I was like, wow, why is it people choose what they do, and what is it that makes one person different than another? What I started realizing was the people that were actually kind, the people that were generative, the people that were creative for others, the people that had a sense of communion and joy were actually being them. Well, fast forward to me being 30 years old, which is like a year from now, because I'm only 29 still. Fast forward to me being 30 years old, and I got to a place where I wanted to end my life because things were so intensely yuck. And I came across Access Consciousness, had a session of Access Consciousness bars, and it quite literally saved my life. And if you've been, connected with me for any length of time, you know this story. And but what it did is it started me on a path of realizing that I could be me, and that I could actually have all those things that I always wanted to have. Well, shortly thereafter, I did a session on Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and an energy called ESB was born into the world, and classes I now facilitate. So after I facilitated those first few classes, I took the transcripts, because I was able to say things in those classes I could never say anywhere else. And it was so beautiful to be with people who you could say these things and their worlds would light up. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so in calling it energetic synthesis of being, it was like what I saw is people got to be, like they got to actually become whatever it was they were. And it's different for all of us. Well, I took the transcripts from those and asked somebody to please write the ESB book. I went through 5 different people who just did not get it. And then I met Katerina Valentin, and I asked her if she would write it. And what she sent me back was pure magic. That magic got turned into the Being You Change in the World book. And so the Being You Change in the World book came out 10 years ago. It was launched in 2011 for the first time. And it's in languages all around the world at this point. And so guess what? It's become abundantly clear and apparent to me that the greatest gift we can give the world is being us. And a lot of you have heard me talk about this. This conversation is really nothing new. But what is new is May 22nd. I'm going to cry. It's so cool. May 22nd this year is the very first International Being You Day. Okay, now some of you have heard of things like World Happiness Day, World Suicide Prevention Day and month, Earth Day. And these are things that people can actually contribute to because it resonates with them. And the one thing that I know, if all of us on this planet were being us, this place would look and feel and seem so different for all of us. So the big announcement is International Being You Day on May 22nd. I was just giving you a little of the, a little of the backstory behind how we even got to this point. But what happened was also, And I want to give a huge thank you to Justine Mikel, our dynamic creative producer in a lot of areas. And also, I want to give a big thank you to Being You certified facilitators, who are people who read the Being You book, loved it, and they were like, I want to bring more of this to the world. Well, for the past several years, that's exactly what we've been doing. We've been facilitating classes on being you. And to see what occurs in just a couple hours when somebody is finally allowed the freedom to be. And so look at this for a moment. I mean, how much have you heard about World Happiness Day? It's like everybody knows when it's on, you know? And how much have you heard about Earth Day? Everybody knows when it's on. In fact, April 22nd, I'll be doing a live for Earth Day, yay! And so this idea of being able to actually have this out there in the world, because the International Being You Day that we're creating is actually in conjunction with the people that have the big calendar or creation of all of these really big days around the world. And so it's one of these things that's not just an access thing. This is one of these things that is a world thing. And it's very funny because after I wrote the Being You book and it went out into the world, within a couple of years, it's like, and I don't know if it's one of those things where when you buy a red car, you see red cars everywhere or what, but within a couple of years, even advertisers like Coca-Cola were like, it's all about being you. And I mean, just everything, like so many things, people have actually gotten the memo. And I'm so excited about that because for me, like I said, this is not an access thing. This day is not an access thing, but this being thing. If we can get people to truly explore what it is to be them, our world changes. And even if we can only do it for a day, look at this for a moment. Earth Day started back in 1976, 70 something, okay? And what did it do? It actually, over time, gave people an awareness that we have this earth and we need to start acknowledging it and nurturing it. Could you imagine if within a few years people have this awareness that they actually be something, that where all of everything they've been looking for exists is within being them? I can think of no greater gift to offer the world. So I am thrilled, I am excited, and I really wanted to make this announcement because there are a lot of people who are like, come on, I want to create stuff, I want to create stuff. And they actually are creating stuff, and we are in the process. And we don't even have the website up yet, okay? This was just made official because in order to be part of this thing, you have to actually apply. Well, they have something like 20,000 applications a year for people who want to do different days, and they only accept between 20 and 30. Well, we applied, ours was accepted, so we are going forward. And, you know, it's kind of an interesting thing to just, let me ask for your help for a moment, if I may, please. Will you just tap into this International Being You Day, as it is going to be, and ask it what it can contribute to you. And thank you all for the beautiful comments. Ask what it can contribute to you, being you. Because these days have this thing where it's like they, whatever, let's talk about Earth Day, for example. It's this thing where it has this, it brings this beautiful element of consciousness, this beautiful space of something into our world, and kind of lays it at your feet and is like, here you go, what would you like to do with it? And wow, I mean, really? And I gotta tell you one other story that I didn't look at until we were actually approved for this, and it was, you know, I thank Justine again, it was her idea. She's like, should we do this? I'm like, hell yeah, try it, let's see if we'll be accepted. Okay. One of the tools that Gary Douglas used to give in the classes that he was facilitating, primarily the Choice of Possibilities class, is he would say, write, if you really want to know where you'd like to head in your life, write out your eulogy. And what is a eulogy? The thing that people are going to say about you when you're gone, right? So here you are, you've lived your life, you've been the contribution. And I highly suggest doing this, by the way, and not from a sad, I'm dead. Dain's dead. Oh, sorry. Okay. Not from a sad place, but from a place of what would I like to have contributed to the world when I go. And and so I did this, I don't know, 15 years ago. And I still remember where I was sitting there and I was writing it. And it was actually at a class in Costa Rica. And I was sitting there writing it. And one of the biggest parts of that for me was that through the way he lived and what he contributed, people all around the world are now being them. And we have created a beautiful world together in which each person is honored, and the destruction and the separation and the hatred is no longer part of our world. And well, I'm hoping, I'm knowing this may be a part of that ask, but this is definitely a part of actualizing that. And God, I love you guys. Thank you. She was so hot, R.I.P. And now you know what's valuable. But I highly suggest doing that eulogy thing, because you never know. I mean, this is 15 years ago, and I can perceive the beauty of the energy of this, the space that is actually possible. And I wanted you all to know. And I wanted you all to be able to receive from this day now, and on the day, of course, and also to receive your energetic contribution for making this truly worldwide. And guys, I mean, really, I'm going to say one more time, could you just for a moment ponder what it would be like to have everybody on this planet have as their target to be what they truly are in everything they truly are. And so we've got a lot of stuff planned. As of now, we're looking at making it a 24-hour event. But when you go to start something like this, it often tells you or shows you that certain things will work better than others. So, and also one of the things that I'd like you to ponder for a moment is those people out in the world that may have influence and reach, or that are, I don't know if you want to call them famous or whatever, but that are truly being them. That the reason they are where they are is because they're actually being them. And those are the type of people that I would love to speak to on this day. Those are the type of people that I'd love to be able to connect to and have this conversation about. You know, a couple names that come to mind, like Hugh Jackman, Ellen. These are just a couple of the people that it's like, I mean, if you look at the case of Ellen, look at this for a moment. And if you don't know who she is, she's a very well-known comedian with a very well-known talk show now. And she, being gay, being female, in a time where being a gay female was not acceptable, was like, sorry guys, I am who I am. And she just kept being who she was and kept on going. And it's just one of the things for me that acknowledges what can occur when you truly be you. And Hugh Jackman, he's not a gay female, in case you haven't noticed. He's a hot male. And I mean, but just a genuine person. And if you notice, both Ellen DeGeneres, thank you. And if you'll notice, both of those people do a lot of contribution to others. This is the great misunderstood thing about being. When you be you, that's when you actually contribute even more to everybody else. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm just reminding you of what you do. So, my beautiful friends, thank you very much for being here with my big announcement. And I'm just so friggin' thrilled, and thrilled to be able to talk about it now. And because we got approval just a couple weeks ago, and wanted to at least start putting some things in place before we announced it. And please, would love to have your energetic contribution. And we will let you know when the website is launched. And if anybody has any brilliant ideas, feel free to let me know. I may not be able to respond to all of those brilliant ideas depending on how many I get, but we got a lot of brilliant ideas in motion already. And this is one where I don't want to leave because I want it to be Being You Day today. And oh well, I guess we'll have to see what it wants to be created as, and we are in that process. So thank you, beautiful people. And I love that. What contribution can this be to the world, and what can we all be to make this a day, the most celebrated day in the world? I love it. And most people don't even know that being you is a choice. True story. And you know what? One of the greatest things is the way people get that awareness is by you being you around them. And then it starts to melt where they think they can't be them. So go out and be you, my beautiful friends. Be the greatest expression of possibilities that you can be, that you know you are, and have way too much fun. I've got interestingly, I have a Facebook Live called What WTF is Being. It's 3 p.m. Houston time on Monday, so you are all dynamically invited to that also, where it's going to be a bit of a deeper exploration on what being actually is. And between being and choice, everything is truly possible. And what if you, truly being you, are the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires? Thank you for being my beautiful friends, and thank you for the beautiful showering of energy here. This is so cool. It's like, hello, everybody. And, you know, people say we're separate, you know, because people are over there and over there, we can't get together, whatever. I beg to differ. If the energy on this Facebook Live is any indication, there's actually no separation between us at all. So what if that separation is one of the greatest lies that people are buying, and what if we don't have to anymore? Okay, beautiful people, I will see you Monday at 3 and many other times and places, I hope. Mwah! Thank you for joining my celebration. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.